Have you ever wondered what truly sets high-value people apart from the rest? It's not about money, status, or looks, it's about mindset and behavior. You see, high-value people carry themselves differently. They radiate confidence, set strong boundaries, and move through life with purpose. But here's the thing. You don't have to be born with these traits. You can develop them. In today's video, I'm going to share 7 powerful signs that prove you are a high-value person. And if you don't recognize all of them yet, don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what they are, but you'll also have the tools to develop them in your own life. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more life-changing content. All right, let's get into it. 1. You set and maintain boundaries. One of the most defining traits of a high-value person is their ability to set and maintain strong boundaries. Boundaries are not about pushing people away or being difficult. They are about protecting your time, energy, and mental well-being. A high-value individual understands that allowing people to walk all over them, take advantage of their kindness, or drain them emotionally leads to resentment, exhaustion, and a lower quality of life. That's why they have a clear sense of what they will and will not tolerate, and they communicate those limits firmly yet respectfully. Whether in personal relationships, friendships, or professional settings, they make it known when a line has been crossed. They don't allow guilt or fear of conflict to keep them in situations that are harmful to their peace of mind. Instead, they prioritize self-respect and expect the same from others. Setting boundaries is especially crucial when dealing with people who constantly test limits, disrespect your time, or demand too much from you without giving anything in return. For example, imagine you have a friend who always shows up late, cancels plans last minute, or only reaches out when they need something. A high-value person doesn't make excuses for this kind of behavior. They don't sit in frustration, hoping the other person will change. Instead, they address the issue directly. They might say, "I value my time, and I'd appreciate it if you let me know in advance if you can't make it. Otherwise, I won't be able to keep making plans like this." If the behavior continues, they don't beg for respect. They step back and redirect their energy to relationships that honor their boundaries. The same applies to work environments. If a boss or colleague continually oversteps, they don't suffer in silence. They communicate their limits and hold firm. But setting boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's about saying yes to yourself. It means honoring your own needs, prioritizing your well-being, and refusing to overextend yourself just to please others. A great way to practice this is by starting small. The next time someone asks you for something that feels overwhelming or unnecessary, pause before responding. Instead of instantly agreeing out of obligation, ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Is this a good use of my time and energy? If the answer is no, practice saying no without guilt. You don't need an elaborate excuse. A simple, "I can't commit to that right now" is enough. The more you enforce your boundaries, the more others will recognize that you are a person who values themselves. And that's the mark of true self-respect and confidence. 2. You are emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is one of the most underrated yet powerful traits of a high-value individual. While many people focus on external achievements, wealth, status, physical appearance, truly valuable individuals master their emotions and how they interact with others. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, regulate, and manage your emotions while also recognizing and responding effectively to the emotions of others. It means staying calm under pressure, handling conflict maturely, and knowing how to navigate complex social interactions with ease. A high-value person doesn't let their emotions control them. Instead, they have the self-awareness to pause, assess a situation, and respond in a way that is constructive rather than reactive. For example, imagine you're in a heated discussion with someone who is being unreasonable or trying to provoke you. Most people would immediately react, raising their voice, getting defensive, or letting anger dictate their response. But a high-value individual takes a different approach. Instead of allowing emotions to take over, they stay composed, listen carefully, and think before they speak. They don't let temporary emotions lead to long-term consequences. Instead of saying something impulsive that they might regret later, they might respond with something like, "I understand where you're coming from, But let's take a moment to cool down before we continue this conversation. This type of emotional self-control not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also earns respect from others. It shows that you are in control of yourself, which is a rare and highly valued trait. Another aspect of emotional intelligence is the ability to read the emotions of others and respond appropriately. High-value people have a strong sense of empathy, which allows them to build deeper connections and navigate social situations with ease. They know when someone is upset, frustrated, or in need of support, and they respond in a way that is thoughtful rather than dismissive. This doesn't mean they absorb everyone's emotions or allow themselves to be drained. It means they understand how people feel and use that knowledge to build stronger, healthier relationships. If you want to improve your emotional intelligence, start by practicing emotional awareness. The next time you feel triggered by something, whether it's a rude comment, a disagreement, or a stressful situation, pause and reflect before reacting. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? What is the best way to respond? More often than not, the answer will be to stay calm. Respond with logic rather than emotion, and choose your battles wisely. By developing emotional intelligence, you not only protect your peace, but you also become the type of person who can handle any situation with confidence and grace. And that is a sign of true high-value living. 3. You keep growing and learning. One of the most defining traits of high-value individuals is their commitment to continuous growth and self-improvement. They understand that life is an ongoing journey of learning, and they never settle for mediocrity. Instead of remaining stagnant, they actively seek out new knowledge, experiences, and skills that will help them elevate their mindset, abilities, and overall quality of life. Whether it's mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual growth, they recognize that true success and fulfillment come from expanding their horizons and constantly evolving. High-value people don't see challenges or failures as roadblocks. They see them as opportunities to learn and grow. Every setback is a lesson, and every obstacle is a stepping stone to becoming a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of themselves. What separates high-value individuals from the average person is how they choose to spend their time and energy. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media, binge-watching TV shows, or engaging in gossip, they invest in themselves. They read books, attend seminars, listen to podcasts, take courses, and seek out mentors who can challenge their perspectives and help them level up. They also surround themselves with people who push them to be better. They don't waste time with those who drain their energy or discourage growth. Instead, they seek out conversations and relationships that inspire and challenge them. They understand the importance of being in an environment that fosters self-improvement, and they actively curate their surroundings to support their personal development. If you want to adopt this high-value mindset, start small, but stay consistent. Commit to learning something new every single day, even if it's just a small insight. Read a few pages of a book that challenges your thinking. Listen to a podcast that expands your knowledge. Watch an educational video that teaches you a new skill. Have a conversation with someone who has a different perspective than you. Growth doesn't always come from major life changes. It comes from the daily decision to be better than you were yesterday. The key is to approach life with curiosity and a willingness to learn. If you make learning and self-improvement a lifelong habit, you'll naturally set yourself apart as someone who is valuable, adaptable, and always evolving. And that is what makes you truly unstoppable. 4. You don't seek validation from others. A high-value person is secure in who they are. They don't seek approval, attention, or validation from others to feel worthy. Instead, they have a deep sense of self-confidence and self-worth that isn't dependent on external opinions. While most people spend their lives trying to fit in, gain acceptance, or please others, high-value individuals operate differently. They understand that their worth isn't determined by how many people like them, follow them, or approve of their choices. It's determined by how authentic and aligned they are with themselves. Seeking validation from others can be an exhausting and endless cycle. It often leads people to change their personality, suppress their true feelings, or make decisions based on what will make others happy rather than what's truly right for them. A high-value person, on the other hand, stays true to themselves, even if it means standing alone. They don't adjust their opinions, preferences, or lifestyle just to fit in. They don't engage in trends or behaviors just because they're popular. And most importantly, they don't let fear of judgment or criticism dictate their actions. They know that no matter what they do, someone will always have an opinion. So they choose to live on their own terms, rather than trying to please everyone else. For example, imagine you're in a group of friends, and they all agree on something you personally don't believe in. A person who seeks validation might stay silent or pretend to agree just to avoid conflict. But a high-value individual is comfortable expressing their thoughts, even if they go against the majority. They're not afraid to say, "I actually have a different perspective on this." They don't change themselves to fit in because they know that authenticity is far more valuable than superficial approval. If you find yourself constantly worrying about what others think, it's time to shift your mindset. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I truly want to, or because I want others to like me? The more you align your actions with your true self, the more confident and fulfilled you'll feel. Start by making small choices that reflect your genuine preferences, rather than what you think others expect from you. Over time, you'll realize that the only validation that truly matters is the one you give yourself. When you operate from a place of self-respect and authenticity, you naturally become magnetic, confident, and truly high value. 5. You take responsibility for your life. One of the most defining traits of a high-value person is their ability to take full responsibility for their life. They don't blame their circumstances, their upbringing, or other people for their failures or setbacks. Instead, they own their choices, their mistakes, and their future. While many people fall into the habit of playing the victim, making excuses, or waiting for external factors to change, high-value individuals operate with a different mindset. They understand that life doesn't owe them anything, and the only way to create the life they want is to take charge of their actions, attitudes, and decisions. Blaming others may feel comforting in the short term, but it keeps you stuck. It removes your power and places it in the hands of external forces, whether that's your boss, your parents, your past, or even society. But when you take full ownership of your life, you regain control. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, you ask yourself, what can I do about it? For example, if you lose a job, a low-value mindset would immediately look for someone or something to blame, the company, the manager, or bad luck. A high-value mindset, on the other hand, would shift into action mode. They would ask, how can I improve my skills? What can I learn from this experience? What steps can I take to secure a better opportunity? They don't waste time complaining about things they can't change. They focus on what they can control and move forward. The same applies to personal relationships. If a friendship or romantic relationship falls apart, instead of pointing fingers, a high-value person reflects on their own role in the situation. They ask, what could I have done differently? What lessons can I take from this? How can I grow from this experience? They don't get stuck in resentment or victimhood. They acknowledge what happened, take responsibility for their part, and use the experience to become wiser and stronger. If you want to embody this trait, start by eliminating excuses from your vocabulary. The next time you catch yourself blaming someone else for your problems, pause and shift your mindset. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation? When you start focusing on solutions instead of excuses, your entire life begins to change. You'll move with more confidence, command more respect, and ultimately become a person who creates their own success rather than waiting for life to hand it to them. 6. You make others feel valued. Being a high-value person isn't just about self-improvement. It's also about how you treat others. Many people believe that confidence comes from being dominant, loud, or constantly proving yourself. But in reality, true confidence is much quieter. It's about making the people around you feel important, respected, and appreciated. High-value individuals understand that relationships, whether personal or professional, are built on trust, empathy, and genuine connection. They don't seek to one-up others, belittle them, or make everything about themselves. Instead, they elevate those around them by showing genuine interest, listening deeply, and offering encouragement. Think about the last time you had a conversation where you felt truly heard. Chances are the person you were talking to wasn't interrupting, wasn't waiting for their turn to speak, and wasn't distracted by their phone. They were fully engaged, making eye contact, responding thoughtfully, and making you feel like your words mattered. That's the energy of a high-value person. They don't just go through the motions of conversation, they make the person in front of them feel seen and valued. And in a world where most people are consumed by their own thoughts and distractions, this quality is incredibly rare and powerful. For example, let's say you're talking to someone at work, and they're sharing a concern or an idea. A low-value mindset might brush them off, half listen, or respond in a way that shifts the focus back to themselves. A high-value mindset, on the other hand, would engage fully, ask follow-up questions, and acknowledge what the other person is saying. Instead of saying, "Yeah, that's cool," they might say, "That's a really interesting idea. What made you think of that?" Or, "I can see why that's important to you. How do you think we could make it work?" These small moments of genuine attention and validation make a massive impact. If you want to embody this trait, practice active listening. The next time you're in a conversation, resist the urge to interrupt, one-up, or shift the focus back to yourself. Instead, focus entirely on the other person. Maintain eye contact, nod to show engagement, and ask meaningful questions that encourage them to share more. Treat every interaction as an opportunity to make someone else feel important. The more you do this, the more people will naturally gravitate toward you. And that's the real power of being high value. You don't just uplift yourself, you uplift those around you. Sign 7. You stay true to your values. One of the most defining characteristics of a high-value person is their unwavering commitment to their values. In a world where people often bend their beliefs for social acceptance, temporary gains, or fear of standing out, high-value individuals remain steadfast in what they believe is right. They don't change their morals based on who's watching, nor do they sacrifice their integrity for short-term rewards. Instead, they hold themselves to a standard of authenticity, honesty, and self-respect, regardless of external pressures. Their values are the foundation of their character, guiding every decision they make, big or small. Living by your values means doing what's right, even when it's difficult. It means choosing honesty over deceit, integrity over convenience, and long-term fulfillment over short-term gratification. For example, if honesty is a core value, a high-value individual won't lie, even if it would make their life easier in the moment. If respect is important to them, they won't engage in gossip, even when everyone else is doing it. If they value discipline, they won't cut corners or take the easy way out just because they can get away with it. They don't go along with the crowd just to fit in. They stand firm in their beliefs, even if it means standing alone. Imagine you're in a situation where you're faced with a choice between doing what's right and doing what's easy. Maybe you're at work, and you have the opportunity to take credit for someone else's idea because your boss assumes it was yours. Many people might be tempted to stay quiet and accept the praise, thinking, "It's just a small thing. No one will know." But a high-value person wouldn't hesitate to speak up and give credit where it's due. Why? Because their value system tells them that integrity is worth more than a moment of undeserved recognition. They understand that character is built in the small, everyday choices, not just in the big moments when everyone is watching. If you want to cultivate this trait, start by getting clear on what truly matters to you. Take a few minutes to write down your top 3 core values, the principles that define the person you want to be. Is it honesty, loyalty, respect, hard work, kindness? Once you have them written down, make it a habit to use them as a guide for your decisions. Whenever you face a tough choice, ask yourself, does this align with what I stand for? If the answer is no, don't do it, no matter how tempting or convenient it may be. By staying true to your values, you build a reputation of integrity and trustworthiness. People will respect you, not because of what you say, but because of how consistently you live by your principles. And more importantly, you'll respect yourself, because you'll know that, no matter what happens, you never had to compromise who you are to get ahead. That is the ultimate mark of a high-value individual. So how many of these signs do you recognize in yourself? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whether you already embody these traits or are working on developing them, remember that becoming a high-value person is a journey, not a destination. It's about consistently choosing growth, self-respect, and integrity every single day. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. The world needs more people who show up as their best selves, and that starts with you. Keep growing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep being true to who you are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.